Welcome to More on That, a podcast by More Media Group. I'm your host, More Media founder Emily Moore, and I'm joined by our COO, Will Caves.
This is a podcast about work, life, and the places they intertwine. Each episode, we'll talk to a different guest who has a cool career or is chasing a dream or just making great things happen.
This episode, we talked with Landon Bryant, also known as Landon Talks on the internet. Will and Landon actually grew up together in Laurel, so we got to talk about some pastimes and learn about their show choir days. Still waiting on Will to do a performance for us.
Yeah, you got to pay for that. Yeah.
Landon is now a content creator, a comedian, an author, and even an actor, as we discussed a little bit. And we had a really great conversation about how his career has taken off and all the cool things he's getting to do these days. So here's More on That with Landon Bryant.
More on That is sponsored by Community Bank. These guys offer it all, from personal and business banking to financing and wealth management. They've got over 120 years of experience, and their home base is right here in Central Mississippi.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about the team at Community Bank. We recently moved More Media's banking over to them, and everything has been so smooth. Every single person we've talked to has been helpful, kind, and easy to communicate with. I'm so thankful to have a bank I can reach out to and get personalized support from the same day.
They've got a ton of awesome services like their secure digital banking, and if you're dreaming of finally launching that business, there's a variety of business accounts you can choose from. Their experts will help you choose the right plan for you.
We love Community Bank, and we think you guys will too. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. That's communitybank.net, member FDIC. Okay, we are here with Landon Bryant, aka Landon Talks. Do people just call you that now, like Landon Talks?
Yeah, they do. I recently was introduced at a show as Landon Talks Bryant, and I was like, okay, so
it's a middle name.
That's new.
Well, I feel like I've told a couple people we were interviewing you, and I'm like, Landon Bryant. I'm like, Landon Talks. I'm like, oh.
It definitely is a thing.
But probably when you set that as like your handle, you weren't really thinking like, this is my brand.
This is your new
You're
last name.
At all. Literally, the way I even set the handle was Caitlin was like, I was talking too much all the time, and she was, I was like, okay, she was like, tell your stories to the internet. And I was like, okay, I will. I talk too much, So Landon Talks, and there we are.
I
didn't think past it, but I think like you have to have something that like hooks in a way. Like I don't necessarily want to be Landon Talks for my whole life, but I think it like pulls people in.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I mean, clearly people know who that is. Like when I say it, it's like it's almost just like you're on a first name basis with everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I would like to be the only Landon. I don't like the other
Landons. Like Landon.
Landon. Share.
Right. I want to be the only one.
The only Landon.
Okay. Well, I feel like we have to establish that you and Will go way back.
Yeah, for sure. Since I don't even actually know when we met because we were in like the second grade or whatever. It's been like a long time.
My first memory of Will was at Star Reach, and he had his yearbook, and Britney Spears was in the yearbook.
That's correct. Yeah, it's my. So Story. There's a lot. There's a lot of context in these stories. It's just like our gifted program. That we did.
And they noted that they shipped us to an abandoned school campus.
That's correct.
Like all the kids in the county would go to one school, and it was really an abandoned school that they like added us to.
Wait, this is like an event,
no,
or this
it's
is
like
once a week.
They would pull
weekly.
like
Per grade.
like first or second graders or whatever were Monday, third on Tuesday, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so you would just go. That was your day to go to Star Reach or Gifted.
So like all the second graders were at Star Reach on Monday
from
or
all
like
different
whatever.
schools. So Landon and I didn't go to the same elementary school. We went to Star Reach. And Landon's your grandfather and my grandmother lived next, or your grandparents and my grandmother lived next door to each other for a long time.
So I've just always known.
Yeah, but I did indeed. Yeah, I'm happy to. It's my burden to bear. There was when I was in the third grade, I very briefly attended elementary school at a private school. That was like K-12 with Britney Spears.
And you brought the yearbook to show everyone?
In whatever grade it was, fourth, fifth grade.
Our perspective of Will was like, we were like, he is a celebrity. He
knows
knows celebrities.
Right.
He's like actually famous. He's like an actual famous person.
That's right.
And he goes to my school.
And I thought it was cool for way too long.
The yearbook with you to show.
Well, this was in like.
I think we demanded. I think we were like, you have to
this
bring
is
it.
like peak. I mean, it was what, like 9 in the. We're dating
It was when
ourselves
she
here.
was the biggest deal.
Yeah, it was like the
biggest
peak
deal
of her fame, or maybe close to it. And I was like, this is my claim to fame.
Like
as well.
quite literally,
hilarious.
I told people that I went to school with somebody who had a yearbook with Britney Spears in it. Like it was
That's
like
right.
a
And
real
it's clearly
thing.
made an impact because all these years later, that's your first memory.
I've also been quietly embarrassed of it in hindsight. So I'm glad to hear that it was affirming.
No,
So
that
You're the
like
cool
really
kid on the block.
that really like established you. I feel like, and it like was very serious.
That's funny.
Very serious.
But yeah, Landon and I have known each other for a long time. We mentioned we used to attend gifted classes at abandoned schools. We had Britney Spears yearbooks. We also did show choir together for a number of years and graduated high school together as well. So, and briefly, I guess you went to MC too. We kind of intertwined a long time.
Around. And Will was there for the story that started my entire career, because Will was at Walmart High School as well.
That's true.
Oh,
that's true.
Yes.
Which we'll have to discuss.
Yeah, we can discuss that.
I don't even think we ever talked about that. Like, I obviously knew that y'all went to school together, but we have never talked about that.
Yeah. So, well, Landon's version of events is the famous version. Mine was much less exciting, right? Like, it was just, I lived kind of close to the high school. And so when the tornado hit the high school, it was also right at my house.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know it was, I wasn't, I think you were camping or something.
Yes,
is that
very
right?
much.
And so I was like in the closet, right? Like it was a whole thing.
So you knew about the tornado?
Yes. Oh yeah. Because it skipped over my house.
So that's the part I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we lived probably about 1.5 miles from the school. And so we were in it literally and in the storm. And then, you know, it was during spring break, I think.
It was.
At maybe the beginning of spring break or something like that. So I think we had an extra couple of weeks off, and then they put up these huge partitions, as he's mentioned in his story that's famous now. And we had an old Walmart. And that's where we went to high school the rest of the year.
There you go, Walmart High School.
High school, we were in 8th grade, so it wasn't, we were middle school. But
I'm very grateful for the Walmart High School there. And at the time I was horrified. I was like, this is so embarrassing.
Oh, I thought it was great.
I was just like, I cannot believe, like, we could be going to a private school. We could be doing anything.
Yes,
we're
They
at
put us in the
Walmart.
Walmart. Like, we're literally going to the Walmart. And we did. But now I'm so glad, because that really gets people's attention as a story.
We'll keep going. You want to keep talking about Walmart High School?
I vividly remember the layout too. It was so wild. Like we would, because we like.
It was a maze.
Well, they built the partitions with the same general layout as the high school and the middle school. So our classes were like the teachers were in the same general spots.
They were like, let's not make it too much change.
Yeah, it was bizarre. What a wild time to be alive.
Yeah, and we were pardoned from a TED. Like, literally, we got a pardon.
That's true, yes.
A literal pardon.
Yes, that's awesome.
A real pardon.
An actual pardon from the governor of Mississippi.
A real one.
We had to take the Algebra 1 state test to graduate. It was the first year. And we took the test.
Yeah.
And then later, when they got the results back, they were like, by the way, y'all are pardoned from the test.
Yeah, you had too much going on.
And I just
We're
love
not
that they
gonna-
chose the language of pardon. Like, that was the
And
language.
I love that they chose it after. Like, it
Yeah.
was so
Yeah, they
bad.
waited.
They were like, you know what? These kids were going through it.
You know
We're
what?
not
It
gonna
actually
count
was a hard
this.
time. Y'all are having a hard time, and like, it doesn't matter, really.
Okay, talking about that story taking
Yes.
off. So let's get into kind of how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
From meeting Will, who was the famous one.
The catalyst,
who-
if you will. Yeah,
I was trying to embrace myself to Will's standards.
to
Like,
now you going on talk shows like the Kelly Clarkson show, which I'm sure was just the same as being here.
it
with
was
us.
the same.
Yeah,
It's the same. It was like the
same
same kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like, I work with my wife. We are with each other all the time. She was at Star Age in 2nd grade. She went to Will's school to So Mississippi.
Well,
They got
also,
So-So.
but my husband knew her in college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is such a
Yeah, it's
Mississippi
such a
thing, you know?
Mississippi
Because
thing. We'll
when
be
I met
related
you
by the end of
guys,
it, like-
That's right.
when
yeah.
y'all came to the Book Fest event and I met y'all, she was like, okay, I actually know, like, because she and I were like finding each other on social media. She was like, wait, this is your husband? I went to Southern Miss with them.
Wow.
That's funny.
So,
It's such
anyway,
a small world. There's
yeah,
always
very
something.
Mississippi.
It's
Okay.
always something like that. And that book festival was so fun. I was telling her the same story for like the 15th or 20th time. Who knows how many times. And her eyes like glazed over. And she was like, what if you told your stories to the internet? Which is like a very nice way of her.
Okay, and when was this?
This was in like 2022, I think, somewhere around in there. And we were teaching at the same school, the Public School of the Arts in Laurel. It's a great school. It's such a good school. I learned so much from there. And
I mean, it's no Walmart.
so I
but
did.
It'll do.
It was no Walmart.
It'll do.
It was more of a Georgian building. It was very nice and fancy. You know, like
It's
that
a
was
cool
not
building, yeah.
not the vibe. So I came home and just started talking at my phone. And I had been making videos of like lessons I would do. I was like very much on art teacher TikTok because I was an art teacher. So I was making those, but then I started I told story of Walmart and it like blew up. And then people wanted to know about Laurel. And so I made a video about Laurel and that blew up. And then it just kind of like in the comments, people were like, what do you mean fixing to? And what do you mean Mike could? And I was like, what do y'all mean? What do you mean fixing to? Like, what do you mean? Like,
I mean what I mean.
I'm
fixing
to. Like,
to.
how can I possibly explain
Right.
that? And so the first one I did, I think, was fixing to. I was like, let's discuss fixing to, or let's discuss y'all. It was something like that.
Like a basic
And
one that they should know.
Right. And it just blew up. And then I was like, wait, I think I found the niche. Because you're always like, find the niche, find your niche, find your niche. And I was like, wait a second. a niche. And it was very strange to me because there's a lot more country people that went to school with us than me and Will. And there's
yes, I would say honestly, we're not even on the.
Well, listen, I'm from Pearl River County, so I understand.
But I don't feel like everybody listening to this is like, you're insane for saying this, but we don't have that bad of a Southern accent like us, there's worse ones. There's like really worse ones.
Yeah.
So this whole like Southern identity thing was not something I'd really like explored as part of my identity, really. We were in show choir. I was very theater. I was very like doing that kind of stuff. So I just had never really thought about it. And when I started like looking around and thinking about what are things that are us and what are phrases that are us and what are sounds that are us, there was so much there. And I was like, wow. And so it was like a whole different way of looking at like the people that I'm around. And we live in like a place that's, there's like all sorts of views here and they're all different and it's difficult to be around sometimes. Sure. And so it quickly turned into me like celebrating the things I love about here and basically like finding something to talk to my grandparents about. Like, what are things I can talk to my grandparents about in the modern world that is not offensive to them, that is like bringing us together instead of bringing us apart. And it just grew from there and it's just exploded. And I still am like in whiplash about it. Like I have a hard time believing it. I never know what I'm doing. I never know where I'm going. Like it's just too much. But I'm grateful. I'm like having the most fun.
At what point did you was it just like, oh, this is a thing? Like, because you get a lot of followers that one particular story or a reel or whatever got a lot of engagement. But at what point were you
like that you were like, okay, this isn't just a couple of viral videos. This is becoming a thing. A brand.
Probably like a month later, like a month into it, very quickly. Like I posted in February, and I know it's because she was on the HGTV show painting portraits. And we were preparing for her to get a bunch of commissions. And she did, but then we were like, no, we got to do this instead. But in between February and like April is when we decided not to. The episode aired in April. And so I know it was between there somewhere. And it was just very quickly and it blew up. So I like looked into best practices and I like learned about consistency and all the stuff. And I like really applied all those like tricks that you do. Like I was there every day at the same time with a similar vibe, a similar, not same background, but like a green screen cutout of me in front of a colorful background. The same like prompt. And there was always a call to action. And I just was like very serious about it for a long time. So after like that first 2 months, and then I like established the Landon Talks brand, and then I was getting like inundated with publishers like blowing me up, and I was like, this is out of control. Like this is out of control. And I would have taken the very first deal, but we live in the town with Erin Napier, and I'm very good friends with her, and I just appreciate her so much. And I was like, help, like what do I do? Like I don't know about any of this. I don't know about literature deals. I don't know about brand deals. And she got me in touch with her literature agent, Kim Perrell of Highline Literary in New York City. And Kim called me and we talked about all the things, and I told her the opportunities that were there. And I didn't know anything about publishing. And it turns out every top publisher was in my inbox, and I did not know who they were. And I was just like talking to them.
You're probably overwhelmed. You couldn't even really like look into each one of them. Because it was probably just like glancing, but just the amount.
I just was so ignorant about all the world of media and the world of print. Like there's so much I did not know. So it was, I don't know, it was just such a learning curve. So Kim navigated that with me, and it was really wonderful. So by May of that year, we had signed our contracts to work to teach the next year. Like we were going to teach. And it's a really big deal to get out of your contract. You have to get out of your contract. But by May of that year, I knew that the book was coming. I knew there was going to be like a large tour with that. And I signed the book. So we were like, we got to do what we got to do. And I'm grateful that the school district didn't like punish us for that. They like moved on really quickly, and that was really great. So it was really fast. It was like
Well, I'm sure, they probably also saw that how fast this was growing. And they probably were like, felt that it was coming at some point anyway.
Very much.
And so I'm sure it wasn't just like, oh, why, Landon? Like, why?
It was more of a, all right, do you want to have the conversation?
Yeah.
Kind of a situation. And I'm so grateful to that school. I think that I learned so much from them because I taught visual art, but every week we would teach academics through the arts. So on Fridays, me, the dance teacher, the music teacher, and the PE teacher, the arts teachers, would get sent to a different grade. You get assigned to a different grade, and you would teach whatever they learned that week on Friday using your art. So I had to meet the standards of visual art in Mississippi and the standards of like third grade math for that week, whatever it was. And you have to make a lesson that meets both those standards. And those lessons aren't on Pinterest. They're not available. Like you have to make them yourself. And it's like a weekly creative practice,
Yeah.
And I learned to do that there. I learned to do it last minute. I learned to do that there. And it was not a skill. I've never been like a consistent person necessarily.
Yeah.
So I really am grateful to them for that.
Yeah. But it's also clearly a lot, like you couldn't have done both. Like it clearly is a very hands-on creative. It's not just show up and check a box. Like you're having to actively come up with ideas while you're having to actively come up with ideas for this new thing that's taking off.
Right.
And so there's just no way.
And the kids deserve somebody that could give their full attention to it. It was just too much. It's like the number one school in the state. Like scores-wise, they're very good at what they do, and they are good. And
well, I'm glad they understood. And so things were taking off then. The book deal, first book deal happened. And then how did, because it kept growing from that. It wasn't just like, did you feel like, okay, this is it. We've got a book deal. We've arrived. Or did you kind of feel like this is going to keep going from here?
No, I've been terrified from day one that it's not going to keep, it's just going to crumble at any second. But I'm getting more secure in it as it grows and it gets bigger. It just is hard to, I am not a business person. I don't know these things. So it's all like a really overwhelming world. But I am having a good time doing it, basically. I'm having a good time doing it.
It looks like you're having a good time doing it.
It's grown a lot. I think I signed the first book deal at like 100,000 followers, and now it's at like 500,000 on Instagram alone. And so just so strange. I never imagined. I'm not like good at thinking in the future. I'm more on the lines of like completing the task I'm supposed to do today.
Yeah. Which I think is a good way to be. I mean, obviously,
I just try to make the right decisions every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
And do the right one tomorrow.
And I do feel like your situation is so unique in that, like, yes, there is some wisdom to strategy and planning ahead, but like the way that your brand has taken off and grown so quickly, there's just not really been a lot of time for you to have strategy in place. And I think some of the magic has come from you just kind of staying light on your feet and rolling with it. Like that's kind of what makes it so fun and so current and timely. Like it feels very in the moment, which I think people like.
I think so too. It's authenticity. People crave authenticity. They don't want anything not genuine. Yeah. And it's kind of like we're all building this together, this brand together, me and everybody in the audience. It's so nice of them.
That's a good point. And I feel like you make your audience feel that way. Like whenever you watch your videos or even like, on your stories and stuff, like you're very much like talking to your audience. Like, hey, we're in this together. I feel like you even posted something. You had something on your face and you had a show recently and you're like, what do I do?
How to style.
The eye.
That's so bad.
So you had the sty on your eye and you were like, you posted it. I think it was on your story or your feed.
My feed.
And you were like, what do I do? Do I cover it up? Do I not cover it? And I just love that you brought everybody into that.
Well, I just am about to be in front of all y'all with a giant thing on my eye. So let's address it. Let's address it. But people like to see people being real people.
Yeah.
And it connects that way that they respond to it. I think the moment that you're inauthentic, especially like younger generations, they are onto it. They're like, nope, I'm out. And I experience that when I work with brands. If they have like a script or like a very specific set of like 75 things they need said in 60 seconds, it's not going to work very well. Like immediately you can tell in the numbers. It's like very clear.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking of being authentic, so you bridged, and obviously you've got multiple books, and you've also bridged that into, you're touring comedian now as well, which is, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Never thought
that's
that
very
was
different than the
that
videos.
came out of nowhere. I love the stage. I love to be on the stage. It's honestly like there's like a couple of things in life that actually hold my attention, and being on a stage holds my attention, and skiing down a mountain holds my attention because I'm not good at it.
Similar things.
And you have to pay attention. I will pay attention to that. Not much else. Like that I'm paying attention to.
Funny.
And so I love the stage and I just love the theater. And at one point, I forgot when, along this thing, Heather Land is this lady's name. She's another like Southern type of lady, and she puts a filter on her face and she says, I ain't doing it. You should look her up. She's a very funny lady.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
And she messaged me and was like, you do stand-up, come do a show with me. And I was like, what is stand-up? It's not like...
You're like, do I?
I do in fact stand up.
I stand up in front of 4-year-olds,
Yeah.
6th graders, like family lunch. Like what is stand-up if not family lunch? Right. So I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Of course.
And
yeah, sure.
So I just went, and like it was so bizarre because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to prepare. I don't really know much about stand-up comedy or anything. And I got there, and first of all, I felt so bad. I like physically felt ill, and turns out I had COVID the next day. I went and was like very full of COVID. So that was strange. But like, what a good way to start your comedy career in the worst state
you can only
possible.
go up from
Like
there.
it can't be worse than this. And then we got backstage, and her and Brian Bates is a guy that does Nate Bargatze's podcast with him, and he was there as well. And they were like, all right, I've got to go focus on my lines. And I was like, your lines?
Yeah. Yes, our lines.
Your lines you say that you are going to memorize.
Our lines, yes.
Like, let's pretend I don't know what you mean by that. Just walk.
And you know what you're going to say, don't you, already? Okay. So like I was like shocked. But I had like ideas of what I wanted to talk about and segue between. So I just got up and told stories and I loved it. Like I had a blast and it worked really well. And I've done so many shows since. I think I've like done over 50 shows since then. And it gets funner every time and tighter every time. And like I know I like learned the audience more. And the shows are all different because they're in like theaters or in comedy clubs. And so the vibes are different at every place. And it's very fun. I've done very bad shows. So it's, I've done a range of things and I've really getting a groove with it.
Do you still not
lately.
have lines? You still have no lines?
I have like a set of things that I know to segue between basically, but it's a little more tight. It's tighter now.
There's like a rough outline.
And I know like the punchlines of it. There's more like punchlines, but I don't think I'll ever be like a jokes guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think I just want to go tell stories. I want to go tell stories and be funny while I tell stories.
Well, and growing up, as we all know, growing up in the South, in South Mississippi specifically, does lead itself to, you've got a lot of good stories. And a lot of like, can you believe this happened? Oh yeah, I have 10 stories like that. Yes.
Very much.
Fact, yeah.
And that's the whole thing in comedy is like the truth in comedy because I am very uncomfortable like lying on a stage. Like I would feel so weird if I was making stuff up. Fortunately, I don't have to make anything up because it's all insane, like the stuff that we've experienced.
That's right.
So the whole set is like very easy.
The audience loves that. Like there's nothing funnier than knowing this is a true story. Like you're not just making up something funny to make like this actually happened to you. Like what? Like I feel like that does. Do you feel like the videos, obviously, it's just you and the camera, and you're seeing all the comments and the reaction, but on stage, you're getting that live reaction. Do you feel like that feeds you more? Like, or does that make you nervous, or do you get energy from that?
No, I love it. I've always got energy from that. Will and I were in show choir, and in 7th grade, I won a solo competition in Birmingham.
Correct.
And I've been chasing that high ever since.
I feel like a lot of my life, by the way, is saying I can verify what the stories that he's telling because I was there.
Do you
not
have
winning
videos
the things or doing
of Will in show choir? Because I feel
Yes.
Will isn't still performing on stage like you, so I feel like we need to pull that out of the archives.
I think we'll have to like, reenact one day.
Yes.
Sure,
more on that on stage.
More on that. There is if you go back, I don't remember when you posted it, but y'all talked about show choir on your podcast.
We did a podcast
and you posted
about
a carousel. And I was just dreading it as I flipped.
And you were there. Right there.
Okay, and Laurel, show choir is a big deal there.
It was a big
because
deal.
I live in Clinton, and it's a big deal in Clinton. And I feel like it's like Clinton and Laurel are kind of always like going at it.
It was mostly
Am
Clinton.
I making that up? Okay.
And we were
a
just
bit more
like
one-sided.
wishing that we could be anywhere near Clinton. I think now they're like very serious about it. I don't know. Like I think show choir is very serious now.
Oh, it's
everywhere. Like I think they're all like
it's a whole deal.
It's like much more theatrical.
Yeah.
I've seen. West Jones had wigs this year.
I did see
They're wearing wigs.
Go ahead.
I'm glad that they're wearing wigs and not us. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was great.
I'm sure. Just fascinating.
But
it's
yeah,
it
has evolved a lot. This is now a show choir podcast. I'm glad some of our episodes have become musical theater podcasts now.
My
It's
school
easy.
didn't have a show choir, or I would have been all about it because I am a big musical theater girly.
But yeah, yes. Anyway, to your point though, the theatrical, the production of it, and just growing up and they're just funny people down south too. Funny people doing funny things, and they're easy.
And like
to
our entertainment, like with your grandmother, like my grandmother, what they were doing was sitting on the porch telling stories and shelling peas, and that was so fun. And they made it entertaining, and you learned to like be an entertaining storyteller if you want to catch their attention. So with the shows, I really am just like when I was growing up, I was always like trying to play show in my grandmother's curtains and make everybody watch me, So with my stand-up show, I'm like,
just play a show.
it's just
you all
just
have to be here.
My kids are doing that now. I showed Will a video last week, but my almost 7-year-old is like writing the script and directing my 4-year-old, and she's telling him what to do. And he's like out there reciting his lines, and they want me to video, and they want, but it is, maybe they have a future in show choir.
It's very important in something, performance in some way. You never know.
Okay, I have a question about, because as a creative, I feel like one of my biggest fears is running out of ideas. And I wonder, do you ever worry about that with your videos or even your stage? Because I know you do a similar show, but at some point you have to mix it up and do something different. Is that a fear you have?
Definitely. With the videos less than it used to be. I did a new video every day for 2 years straight and posted every day no matter what.
That's so many ideas.
It was so many ideas. But I never ran out of ideas. Or either I could like recycle an old idea and update it and refresh it. So I'm more confident in that. Like, there's plenty to talk about.
And now you have like a lot of callbacks to like Piddlin and like there's like several things that you've done that have done really well, and then you do callbacks, I feel like your callbacks are very well timed in your videos. I was trying to before I had lunch with my mother-in-law today, and I told her I was coming here, and she didn't know who you were, but she's we'll give her that. But I showed her some of your videos, and she loved it. I showed her like the grandparent names and the Piddle, and she was cracking up, and she followed you today. But she but I mean, I think that it is, even in that, it was like some of the callback, like you did some and I was like, oh, he has another video about this. And they're just so well timed. But your audience, like you said, you've kind of brought them along on this. So I feel like they appreciate that, because it feels like if you're in the know, you'll know what this line, you'll know this is from an older video.
I hope so. I just try to think about like their experience and what they're viewing and what they're experiencing when they come to my page. And I try to make it like something that they want to come back to and be a part of and to feel a part of. I think that's the most important part, is the engagement. From one part, like I want to be a good entertainer, I want to be engaging, but also like brands care about your engagement rate more than follower count, more than anything. Yeah. It's the engagement rate. So if we can continue this conversation, that helps me more than anything. So it's really about them.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to talk about brands too, because I feel like you are good at partnering with brands that match kind of the brand that you have made for yourself. I know we can talk about Duke's Mayo. Can we talk about others? I don't know who's official and who's not. So you also mentioned Milo's.
Milo's Sweet Tea, they're great.
So I feel like I imagine you get more offers and you don't move forward with partnerships with just everybody. What has that been like, kind of deciding who you're going to partner with?
Well, it's just different. It changes from time to time. Like when I first started out and I was like, wait, I can make money doing this, you know? The first people that came to me was Bush's Baked Beans, and that was wild to me. I was like, this is so crazy. Wow. And so that was great. But then that made me realize that there are brand deals available and that there's like a lot of money in that brands have for this. And so I would go fishing and I would like just look for brands that and then I would send them a DM and be like, what's up? Let's hang out. And then that developed into like me being a little bit pickier and like choosing specific ones. And then I started working with these bigger national brands, and it's just gone from there. And now I'm picky about what I do. I try to make it very authentic to me. Like I don't work with brands that I don't actually use or like go to or experience. And like I try to respect the audience. Like I don't think that my audience really cares for alcohol or like things like that very much, you know? Like, so I turned down a really great liquor deal, but it would have been inauthentic. I don't actually
it didn't make sense,
you know,
for
like
you,
it would have been inauthentic. So
but I think that wins you points with your audience. Whenever, you know, like they don't want to see you doing something that they don't believe is authentic.
And I'm in this for the long term. I'm not trying to do something one-off. I want this to grow and to be huge and continue to grow and be more than just one platform. So it's important to
and you've done a good job of leveraging stuff that your audience does know. I mean, Duke's is a household name down here. Milo's also a household name. I mean, you've got two recognizable brands to go. And I'm sure that it's like mutually beneficial for both of them and you. And just to be able to say, I partner with Duke's. You see Duke's, the yellow jars on the shelf. That's me.
You just eat mayo on everything now.
How much do you? What is
how dedicated
how much mayo do you consume?
The amount of mayonnaise I'm offered, like at everywhere I go. Like I was honestly worried if y'all were gonna have a pear salad when I get here. Like that's what happens everywhere I go now. And also people want to watch you. You know, so it's like that is a challenge. I do not recommend like. If you're not into mayonnaise, don't be talking about mayonnaise on the internet because they will show up. I'm glad it was Duke's though, because I had mentioned some mayonnaise-based things and the Duke's people came out like in droves. Yeah. Duke's fans are wild. There's so many of them.
So hilarious.
And I was like, thank God, when we had the mayonnaise wars over like who was going to win.
People are passionate about it.
About the mayonnaise,
So glad that Duke's won, because I was going to just be like berated off the internet if I'd like said another brand, you know.
Well, and then wasn't it Duke's Mayo? That's why you were just like a grand marshal in a Mardi Gras parade? Did that have to do with Duke's?
Okay, so separately. So I'm doing this thing where if I have shows or like a deal or anything somewhere, I try to like loop in like a brand or like a visit Greenville, South Carolina type situation and just make more money off the event. And I was just invited to be the grand marshal for Crew of Allah. I didn't know. I've never been to Mardi Gras. Knew nothing about them.
But it looked like you had a great time.
It was so much fun. I'm going to be back every year. Like it was so much fun. And so it was just like, this is an opportunity to like pitch something to Duke's. Let's pitch like an activation with Duke's and like Duke's does Mardi Gras. So, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And
that's awesome.
The pictures were great. It was super fun.
Well, Micah Green did that. Do you remember him? He's from Laurel. He's a Laurel boy.
Yes.
Laurel High School.
Okay, I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, and he's a great journalist now. He lives in Gulf Shores. and him and his wife came along, and it was just fantastic. And I can't believe that. He's like an award-winning. He was on the cover of the New York Times that day, and then was following me around. It's just like so bizarre.
Did you loop him into that, or was it just a coincidence that he was?
We're just friends, and he like saw where I was going to go and was like, let me come. And I was like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've got this hotel scheme going where I like, where I like get hotels in exchange for videos. And my brand agent gets onto me for it because it's not technically like the trade isn't enough.
It's just like a DM, like, hey.
And the Lowe's hostess in New Orleans, and I even was like, and my photographer's coming, and they gave him a room. I just like, like, wow.
I love that you called it a scheme. It's like, it's clearly like very much a business thing that you're doing, but you're like, I'm tricking everybody.
It feels like I'm scamming all the hotels. I don't know, like, I'm not, but it feels like it every time I get to go somewhere and like make a video to come in here. What?
That's why it's so funny to me, because you're like, this is just fun. I'm just making a video. And they're like, this is a lot of attention for them. Like, this is a great deal for them. And you're just like, haha, I tricked them.
I feel like I snuck in and like got a free room. Like, that's how it feels. We're going to Dolly. We've been to Dollywood so many times now, and they invite us back again.
Have you met Dolly yet?
In a roundabout way. Like, I've been this close to Dolly.
Okay.
I've never introduced myself to Dolly.
Why didn't you introduce her when you were this close to her?
I'll die. Like, I'll die.
You got it. You got to just jump in there.
They were all in public places, so it was like in private public. Like, we were guests of Dollywood one time, and so we like met her on stage, and it was really cool to see her there. And we were like here, and she was right there on the stage, like right there where Will is for me. So, and she we made eye contact a few times, and I was like, I love you so much.
What if she had been like, Landon talks?
I'll die if that ever happens. I won't be able to handle that very well.
Yeah.
And then I've done other things, like I did promotion for her musical on Broadway, and that was really cool. And so she was there, and I saw, like, we were walked past each other, and that was like the 4th time I've seen her in person. Up close. You're
getting close. You're getting there.
That time she like lingered and like looked like she recognized me,
I know this, And
I'm holding on to that.
Yeah.
The next one she's gonna say.
The next one she's gonna be like, hey baby. And I'll be like, yes.
You wanna do a video?
Really
exactly. I even took the less money book deal, because it came with the possibility that she would write something in it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hey.
And she did not, but I was like, done.
That would be the peak. Like, where do you even go after that? Like, there would be nothing else to do.
Right.
You'll
My
never
agent was
top
like,
that.
nobody turns down the bigger deal. I was like, but they said Dolly Parton.
But nobody turns down Dolly either.
But also, I feel like you can't, like, if you do that now, where do you go from there?
Right.
You're too early in your career to peak, like, right now.
I don't know if I even, like, want to meet her. Like, I think I would be so weird. And I've done really well with celebrities. Like, I've done really well meeting them. The worst one was Parker Posey. She was the one I've been the weirdest to, and she's from our town. And it was in our town that I was weird to. I was like, oh my God, I love you so much. And she was like, thanks, and left the gala. So.
Well, okay, when I saw you at the book festival event that we met, that was whenever we met before Will was with More Media Group. I was like fangirling that night, like, because you were that was. I feel like I had just started seeing your videos, because that was 2 years ago.
That was the first time I ever was like, hold on, this is really big.
Yeah, you were like blowing up around that time.
People were like asking for autographs and stuff, and I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Because it's very surreal, because it's me and my phone alone in my bedroom. And like you see usernames and numbers, but it doesn't, it like all blends together after a while, so it doesn't register. And then when people recognize you in real life, you're like, oh my God, y'all.
Yeah, I remember you saying, like, at the book festival, people were like coming up to you and you were like, you know who I am? Like,
it's very strange. And I still feel that way at everything I go to.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember I was there at the book festival as well. And I texted you the night before. It's like, oh yeah, Landon's great. Whatever. And I texted you, and I met you in one of the tents or whatever. And we kept trying to talk, but so many people would just like step in front of me and, oh, Landon, whatever. And I was just like, I'll see you guys.
And Will was like, I'm the one that went to school with Britney Spears.
Right. What we've learned, honestly, through this conversation is that there's so many cool people from Laurel, and I'm not one of them. It's just reaffirming all this imposter syndrome.
And here we are on your podcast.
That's right. That's right. Well,
right.
I did peak in whatever third grade it was that I went to school with Britney Spears. It's all downhill from there.
I'll never get used to that, though. And when I see people at shows and stuff, and they are so nice, it's still just I'm just so grateful. Yeah. Like,
I love that. And like I said, I feel like it shows. Like, it just seems like you're having fun and enjoying the ride and just going with the flow.
I'm having a blast. And now,
okay. what's next though? Like, is there, I mean, I feel bad asking that because I feel like I'm like, hey, you're just going with the flow. What's next, Landon?
Well, as you all know, because I came in holding a laptop actively open, my third manuscript is due today.
Okay, I didn't even know if we were allowed to say that. So I wasn't going to say it.
Third
Yeah.
book manuscript is because I had Bless Your Heart, A Field Guide to All Things Southern. That was first. And then this is another scam I pulled, y'all. I'm pulling scams left and right.
Oh, let me hear.
And it was in the first book, there's a poem, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, y'all, that I just wrote one day. I was looking for content and I was like, okay, let's make a Southern 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And I went to my bedroom and just said that poem, made it up. And it made it into the book. And then they were like, can we have this for a second book? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they had to buy it from me. And I did not know that. Like,
yeah, you can have it.
It's in your book. Like, y'all have the book. It's the book y'all made, but you own the words as the author. I didn't know that.
Okay.
So they made 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, y'all. So 2 books came out in 1 year, and that was insane. And I 0 out of 10 recommend. Actually, 10 out of 10 recommend. It was very fun. But it was like very busy and very fast.
Just got whiplash from that.
Yeah.
0 out of 10 out of 10.
Like a lot of work, but actually like very fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
And so then this one is a primer. It's How to Speak Southern. It's a dictionary from like All Y'all to Yonder, I think is the title, something
That's
like that.
fun.
That's
I
fun.
love that.
And so it came because I'll be on these planes and run out of service or whatever. And so I just started like writing terms and like then it turned into me like writing the phonetic spelling for it and then like examples for it. And then I ended up with a dictionary.
That's great.
That's really fun.
Do we have, if you can say, do we have a release date for it that you know of yet?
We do have a release date.
Okay.
I don't know the release
Okay,
date.
fair enough. Yeah.
There's one out there.
I know
there's
there's
a date.
one. And it's in 2027 and they told me and it's in an email
Well,
somewhere.
you've got time.
Yeah.
You've got time to
Yeah,
to come
that's
up
so
with
far.
it. It's
We're
not anytime
I'm not
soon.
like
Yeah.
thinking about that at all.
But I will say you also have something else coming up that I want to just touch on briefly. You are, depending on when this podcast released, I'm not sure the date, you will either be about to appear or have just appeared at the Grand Ole Opry.
And
as
I
well.
cannot believe that.
That is so cool. And did you just really find out? Did you you were
found
really
out.
surprised?
I really found out. And so I knew that I was up for it. Like I knew that Maggie Rose is I've just met all these friends like in the industry. And so like you try to help the people that whatever. So her husband is an agent at Starstruck in Nashville and they pitched the Grand Ole Opry a lot, but music people. And I invited them to my show. And I've done Zanies a few times, and I love Zanies there in Nashville. It's so fun. Invited them to my show, and they were like, awesome. And anyways, I sent them the book, the Christmas book, and a sweater from Lingua Franca to Maggie Rose because I was like, she'll wear this, and I'll sell sweaters, like scheming,
Yeah, yeah.
constantly
There you
scheming.
go. There you go.
And
Maybe a free hotel room. Or something.
a free hotel room,
Yeah.
we'll throw one in. And he was like, let me pitch you to the Grand Ole Opry. And I was like, great. So I knew that was like in the air since like
All it took was
December.
a sweater.
But I'd never heard, and you can't ask the Grand Ole Opry to be on it. You're like,
that
they
to
like
them.
have a
Okay.
serious blacklist.
Interesting.
It's like a very big deal.
Okay.
The Grand Ole Opry is like such a big deal. So you can't ask, so you have to have channels to get in. So I just like put it out of my mind. So then the other night they were like, Maggie has to interview you for CMT. And I was like, whatever. Okay,
Sure.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, right.
So
You're like, I have the more on that interview coming up.
That's
I
right.
can't
Yeah,
deal with
it's
CMT
like
right
fine.
now.
I'm not gonna do that. So I set up my phone and then she was like, "Do you want a date?" And I was like, "Oh my, wow!" And I still didn't even process that I wasn't doing the CMT interview. I thought she was just saying that. And then I was really glad. I was like, "Great! I don't have any answers for you after that."
I don't know my lines.
I'm done.
So that was such a surprise, and I'm just so. Milo's took me to the Grand Ole Opry, and I got to go backstage, and it's like such a big deal. And there's like so many green rooms for certain like
Yeah.
rock artists, country artists, and like there's a comedian green room, and like there's a lot of lore like don't go in the green room unless you're performing. There's a circle on the stage that is a
Yes.
circle from the Ryman.
I know about the
and You don't
circle.
step in the circle unless
Yeah.
you're there, and so
Interesting.
and that was less than a year ago, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. There, and it's just so strange.
Just spoke it into
it's one of
the
those things that makes me
existence.
where I'm like, what have you done?
When is that?
April 22nd.
Okay. Will you have lines for that?
It's 12 minutes.
Okay. So just a few lines.
So I'm gonna pick the best part of my like hour and like hit them really hard. And I
Yeah.
think that time I will actually
Maybe
like
we'll
know
practice
exactly
for
what I'm
that
gonna say
one.
and like
Yeah.
have the delivery.
That's right.
We'll see.
Yes.
Maybe.
We'll
we might
see.
practice for
Nice.
that one.
We'll see.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That
thank
is a
you. Super
huge deal.
And then I made 2 movies and working on that. And I wrote a TV show. We'll see where all that goes.
Yeah.
So lots.
Just a few.
To answer what's next, lots.
Yeah, I
Lots,
hope the
lots.
first movie never sees the light of day. That was very embarrassing. I didn't know
no.
anything about what I was doing, but I learned a lot in it.
Well, we'll see.
What
Or
about
maybe
the
we won't.
second?
The second one I'm excited about. It was with some like a fun group of people out of Nashville, and actually like Kellen Lutz was there, and that was weird because I was like, I know you, you know? Mm-hmm. You very much are a vampire from Twilight, you know? And he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that one's going to be very fun. It was a fun thing, and I got to be a part of it. It's called Connection Pending. It's like a rom-com.
Okay. Cool. And when will it be? You don't know, do you?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, we'll look it up.
And people were like, what it's about? And I'm like, I didn't read the script. I read my script for the day. And that's just like all I know, you know? Mm-hmm. So those are coming out, but then I've got to, when you, the door into film is books. Mm-hmm. And even though my book is nonfiction, it's opened a lot of IP doors for film and TV. Yeah. And that's where I want to be next. Mm-hmm. I think I've written a great show, and I would really like to show it off. And I read it in So-So, actually, at a funeral. I was like, oh, this is the show.
This is
it.
Because the funeral food committee afterwards, the funeral, funeral food committee, they were acting up. They were like doing too much. They were like worked up over a broccoli casserole, and they had recently split into two. And now this is So-So First Baptist.
No.
And the bereavement.
But this is so real. No, like I totally feel like
so real.
This is so real.
And now there's a bereavement basket committee.
I do know.
In addition to the funeral food committee. And it seemed like there was beef. And I was like, this is it. This is the show. Like,
so that's the show.
Well, I want the show to be based about the committees in the town. Like I want it to be like a very Christopher Guest, like the Office style show where you like get to see the various committees and how they interact. And I think it could be very fun.
I love that. Like so Real Housewives of So-So.
Yes. Because they are.
That's a whole.
And
that's a great idea, and I think that would be a great show because it is so real, and it's not just there; it's every small town.
Yeah, it's
like
very
that is.
relatable.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, like I don't have to explain the show. Like you get it. It's exactly.
I
so
would
we'll
watch.
See.
Would watch.
But I really am excited about stand up, and I want it to continue. And I signed with that. I didn't sign any. I refuse to sign with any agents or anything. I will not sign a contract. But I will take your money.
It's just a verbal commitment.
We're just hanging out.
Unless it's a hotel room contract.
Unless I will stay. No, I don't even be even signing those. Not signing stuff. But so this booker is working with me now, and he. I know I'm going to say this. Like I know who these people are, but he books like Jeff Allen and a few other comedians, and I never know who that is, but people tend to recognize him.
People know.
So. I'm excited to see where that goes. He's got like a lot of things on the books. And
well, congratulations on everything. Awesome. It's been fun to watch. Like I said, I feel like you're very humble about it and bring everyone along for the ride. And it's just, I don't know, it's you're easy to cheer for. Like I feel like a lot of people want to root for you because it just feels like you're having fun.
Well, I'm very aware that I'm here because of the people rooting for me. So it's like, it seems like the most obvious way to approach it, you know? If you're ever at a meet and greet, it's going to take a long time because I talk to everybody as much as they want to talk to me, you know? And I'm going to do that always.
Yeah, that's part of the magic. Our last question that we ask every guest is, what is your more on that, name of the podcast? So that's your question that you love getting asked, something that you just love talking about, something you hoped we would ask today. What is your more on that?
Ooh, well, we've talked about so many fun things. My more on that, that's such a good question and such a good lead in for the podcast. Like, great job. It's like y'all work in media, you know?
Yeah, it's like we know what we're doing.
No, the more on that is just, I see a lot of people building their social media and like do it. That's my main thing is like do it. Like post the video, post the thing, be consistent with it. Like Instagram, you want let's do some secrets. Instagram, you want to get like one solid good like reel a day and like a post a day if you can. TikTok 3 or more a day and Facebook 3 or more as much as you can. And just put yourself out there and be authentic while you do it. And have a hook and have an engaging call to action at the end and people will show up. And it's like, okay, there's so many creators already doing this, or there's so many cooking creators, there's so many people doing that. Right. But there's an audience for you. There's somebody that likes how you do it. And now you have this huge audience that's available to you out of this huge world of like billions of people on social media. There's some for you somewhere, you know? So just go for it. That would be like.
Can I ask another question on that?
Please.
When you were starting out, because I think what stops a lot of people is they feel insecure and a little embarrassed. Like, oh, they're going to think I'm trying too hard.
Yes.
You know, like before they have a following. Did you ever feel that?
Very much. There's somebody on TikTok that talks about this. There's like a cringe hill that you have to climb. And it's like very cringy. Because like, horrifying to even think that you would watch one of the videos that I've made like in the beginning. That's
like someone
horrifying.
You know.
Yes,
you're like oh my gosh, they know me.
Like that's really embarrassing. And like the people in your daily life that you see every day, the people you're teaching with, like embarrassing. They're like, oh, you're trying to be a social media star, you know? For me, fortunately, it was very quick. So I felt like I had like legitimacy very quickly. But I think basically you have to climb the cringe hill. And once you're over the cringe hill, there's like a moment where now it's not embarrassing anymore.
Yeah.
Now people think it's great what you're doing. And even if there's some that are like lingering haters, and there's really not, nobody cares ultimately.
Everybody's worried about themselves.
It's once you're past the top of that hill, it's not what you're doing is like supporting your family and your people. And so it becomes no longer cringe. So very cringe at first, very scary at first. And then you just kind of get over it. But for me, it came to a point when celebrities started showing up, and I was like, okay, Justin Timberlake is following me. Either I care that Justin Timberlake sees me doing this, or I don't care, and I'm going to do it because I like to do it. And that's where I came to.
Yeah.
The only time I really got very close was when Kevin Bacon followed me. I was like, this is too far.
This
Delete everything.
I'm so embarrassed. Kevin Bacon's going to see all of this.
So, climb the cringe hill. Like, just climb the cringe hill. And there's so many more people than the people you're immediately around.
That's good advice, I do think that's what stops a lot of people.
I'm sure, and it is really scary, but it's like, just do it.
Like, who cares? Who cares what Will Caves thinks watching your videos at home?
Nobody. I tried to affirm and like validate. Yes, that did happen. Yeah, it looks good. Oh no, I'm in that show car picture.
Well, you don't think about it, but things like that do matter too.
Yeah.
When you're making things like comments like that are reaffirming, it's like, okay.
Okay. This is cool. I can keep doing it. Yes. I'm sorry, I have one bonus question that I have to ask you. I mentioned you were on Kelly Clarkson's show. Okay, she was like, I grew up watching American Idol with my grandmother. We watched it all the time. She was obviously season 1 winner. And like, I've always loved her. Please tell me that she's just as amazing as she seems. Please. And if she's not, just lie to me right now.
No, she was cooler even than I thought she was.
I just
she
feel
was
like
so
she
cool
is.
and just like very chill. And like between the takes, the way she talked to the people there was just like, she was like everybody's best friend. And like, they were just like hanging out. Like, this was not a big deal.
That's what I needed to hear.
She was like not acting like a superstar with the guests. She was like being the chillest.
Okay, good.
The Kelly we want her to be.
Thank you. That's what I needed.
While we're talking about Kelly, though,
let's keep talking about Kelly.
That was dead. I was dead about that whole situation. That was like so wild and so bizarre. And they were like, for the next book, we're going to get you. And I was like, anyways. There's another connection that we have to Kelly Clarkson. You know Kat Bayless?
Yes.
So I've been doing things with her, making videos and stuff with her through Julia Fowler of that Southern Women channel. They're great. You should look them up. Kat was in From Justin to Kelly, the movie. That member from Justin to Kelly.
From Justin to Kelly, yes.
And I was just with her 2 weeks ago at Clemson. She made that awful movie as well. The one I made that was so embarrassing. They made me a security guard. I was a security guard, and I think that tells you enough.
Yeah. I do really want this movie to come out.
That tells you more than you need to know. But Kat Bayless was in it, and then I realized halfway through, I was like, "You were in From Justin to Kelly."
That
just like screaming at her. I was like, I can't believe this.
I love it.
It was a big deal when From Justin to Kelly came out.
Anything Kelly Clarkson's ever done was a huge deal.
I've just always loved her, and I'm glad to hear that she's just as great.
Yeah, she was so cool. Everybody that I've met that's been a celebrity has been very cool and like very.
That's good to hear.
Chill. Some Real Housewives one time were like, not everybody's your friend. And I was like, wait, are we not friends? Like, I thought we were.
That's kind of their whole thing, though, right? Like that.
I was like, wait, we've had a great dinner tonight. I thought we were friends, but besides that, everybody's been really lovely. So
that's on brand for them, though.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I love that. This episode is sponsored by Fuse.cloud. Fuse.cloud delivers technology solutions to thousands of businesses across the country. We've used them for internet at our office for years, and we couldn't be happier. Their customer service is seriously top-notch.
Yeah, we don't often have issues, but whenever we do, they're always immediately ready to jump in and help. We love these guys so much that we even named our password after one of their team members for a while.
Yeah, Ben is the bomb.
And our clients were always so confused, like, who's Ben?
And while you aren't required to reference their team in your password, you should look into using Fuse.cloud for your business and internet needs.
They also offer other services like voice and managed IT, and they're based right here at home in Jackson, Mississippi.
Check them out online at Fuse.cloud. That's FUSE.CLOUD.
We do have some rapid fire.
Yeah.
Do we have time for let's just do a few rapid fire real quick.
Yeah.
These are really, really, really fast because we're out of time. Okay, favorite Southern phrase?
Mike could.
It has to be.
What's like a Southern thing you don't care for? Like it can be a food or like a Southernism or whatever that you don't do that.
I've never cared for the devil's beating his wife. That always like
like
me
the
upset.
thunder. Yeah.
But I did find out that it came from Greek, like the Greek revival that happened in the late 1800s in Mississippi, and it was
It
like
still
Persephone
feels like
and
in
Demeter.
2026 it's not one
I'm
we
not
can
into
say
that.
anymore.
I don't really love that.
I love that.
Okay, dream job as a kid?
What I'm doing right now. I didn't know that. I just wanted to be entertaining and do what I'd be on stage.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
And then what's like the one thing that you wish people understood about the South better or understood more about the South?
That it is so nuanced and so layered, and there's so many different kinds of people here, and living here is a totally different thing. But there's like, you see like what the big picture is of the South, but there's so many details that change for individuals and individual families and individual communities. And so you've got to like really look really deep to the South. It's not what you see on its surface. There's so much more.
Yeah, love that too. Well, and cool. I love that you're on big enough platform that I feel like you talk about that a lot. I feel like you do a great job of like, we poke fun at the South and say, like you say fun things on your videos, but you're also always very respectful of the South as well. And like the good parts of it. It's not, it's nuanced, like you said, and you make sure to always promote the good side of it as well.
And if I'm making fun of anything, I'm making fun of myself.
Right, in a loving way, because it is, I mean, there's some fun stuff. There's some fun grandparent names
that we do, y'all. Like, we do some funny things.
That's right. Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining us today. For the 5 people who are listening who don't follow you, how can they find you online on social
I'm Landon Talks all over the internet, except for YouTube. And Landon Talks a lot. I felt very clever about that.
Got a little extra
don't do
for
that.
YouTube.
Use your same username everywhere, everybody. But yeah, there. And you'll see me on things and books and everywhere.
Books, movies.
And one bad movie, one good movie.
Hopefully not the bad movie, one good movie that'll come out at some point.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for listening to our podcast today or watching online, depending on how you're viewing this. You can check us out at themoremediagroup.com or at More Media Group on Instagram. That's More with 2 O's. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
This may be obvious, but More on That is sponsored in part by our company, More Media Group. We're a full-service marketing and public relations agency located in Jackson, Mississippi. We offer help with public relations, advertising, social media, branding, and website design.
Yeah, if it falls under the marketing umbrella, we can help. Our team has worked with clients across several industries, including tourism, healthcare, economic development, higher ed, food and beverage, and more.
If you think we'd be a good fit, check us out at themoremediagroup.com. That's More with 2 O's. Before we go, we want to give one more thank you to our presenting sponsor, Community Bank. Whether you're looking for personal or business banking, Community Bank is the place to go.
They're helpful, responsive, and always updating their services to provide the very best banking options to their customers. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. Member FDIC.